Hi there, this is Warren Bingham, and this is the sixth and final video of the IBD Medical series, Upgrade Your Confidence with Diabetes. It's a great pleasure, has been a wonderful pleasure to have shared my story, my journey, and my insights with you. And I hope you've found the last 5 videos to be of interest, to be motivating, and to be reassuring at the very, very least. So this episode is really a highlight summary of perhaps the last 4 or 5 videos, and if you will, sharing with you some of my key learnings, and through that perhaps how has diabetes, and since being diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, how has that changed and affected my life. So I've got a list of things here just to succinctly go through, so excuse me for checking on my notes all the time. But I do want to share a number of really important elements of what I believe have been critical to my journey, to my success, and some of my frustrations, albeit the way that we live with type 2. Firstly, I'd just like to start with something that I read a few years ago. It was before my diagnosis, but it really has enabled me to understand and to manage the changes and the focus that's been required to live unmedicated or non-medicated lifestyle diet controlled type 2. And that is that life is 10% of what happens to you and 90% of how you react to it. And if there's something in my life that I've learned, that it's really about taking time to understand and to learn from what's going on, and more importantly, to put better in place, in this case, a lifestyle and a health regime and an exercise regime and a sleeping regime, if you will, that would enable me to live better and live healthier. So life is 10%. The 10% was the diagnosis. The reaction of, other than getting frustrated and annoyed and denied the fact that I could possibly be type 2, I realized that I had to accept the diagnosis and then do something about it. And it's that doing something about it that's made the biggest difference. I could have sat there and continued to whinge and whine and complain and feel victim, if you will, to a chronic disease diagnosis. But in the end, I decided the best thing for me to do is just to get on with it. Type 2 certainly has been life-changing for me, and it's a permanent life change. And that is that what I've learned and what I've changed in my lifestyle through those lessons is an ongoing daily exercise. It doesn't finish with one blood result. It doesn't finish with a certain date in time. I will forever be focusing on what I eat, what I drink, how and how much and what style of exercise do I get, and how much quality sleep am I getting every single night. So for me, it's a gift that it's woken me up, and it's made me realize that I do need to be thinking about these things, whereas previously I probably took a lot of that for granted. I have never been, and this is a pretty bold statement, but right now, my weight, my health, my physique, my status, my activity, and my lifestyle is healthier, and I'm fitter than I've been for a heck of a long time. Maybe I haven't been this fit and this healthy since I was 18 or 19. I'm certainly eating better. I'm drinking. I'm eating, drinking, and exercising much better than I was, and certainly a lot healthier than I have been for many, many years. Diabetes doesn't define me. It certainly plays a big part of my life, and it's been an absolute pleasure to share my journey with other people who either experience diabetes or know people who are living with diabetes. But it doesn't define me. I don't introduce myself as, hi, I'm Warren Bingham, I'm a diabetic. I do live with type 2 diabetes, and I've been able to use it to my advantage to improve the quality of my life. There are certainly ups and downs. There have been many ups and downs throughout this journey of learning to live with diabetes and fighting through the frustrations of having an unexplained high blood glucose reading or even an unexplained and unexpected higher than wanted HbA1c level. But nevertheless, it is a journey, and it's the destination that we're we're looking for. And that destination is being able to say that you're doing the best you possibly can looking after yourself. Ultimately, if you spend time focusing on your health, you only have yourself to gain on that, and your body will thank you. Whether or not you can get to non-medicated status, or you can reduce your medication, or you simply just live a better quality of life with the same medication and care in existence. In the end, if you look after yourself and work towards eating better, sleeping better, and exercising better, then you will feel better for it. And sometimes it's those ups and downs that are a challenge that force you to think and rethink, is this really worth it? Well, it is. It's definitely worth it. And my advice is to keep persisting and keep trying. You're going to be living with this disease for a very, very long time, ultimately for the rest of your life. So give yourself a chance to be frustrated. Give yourself a chance and cut yourself some slack if things aren't working well. Don't be so hard on yourself if your results aren't great today, or if they aren't great at your next blood test, because life gets in the way. Sometimes stress can cause more of a spike in your blood results than anything that you eat or drink. So if you get stressed over your results, guess what? You're probably contributing to more higher levels than you want. So remember, take time out, celebrate the success of those things that you celebrate, the good blood glucose meeting, celebrate the fact that you might have got a decent night's sleep, celebrate the fact that you might feel better in the morning than you have done for a long time. Because ultimately it's you that you're doing this for, and there will be challenges, but in the end, if you can focus on the positivity and just give yourself that room to fail, if you call it that, give yourself the room to see that your results aren't as great as you wanted them to be, but you're on this for a long time. It's a long journey, and everything you try will ultimately lead towards something better than perhaps not doing anything at all. So I just wanted to share with you really where I am now. 5-6 years since my diagnosis, and how has type 2 really changed my life? Well, certainly before I was diagnosed, I weighed 74 kilograms. I thought I was pretty healthy. I was playing soccer, I was water skiing in the summer, sometimes doing some stuff around the boat and on the water in the winter, but I was pretty active. But what I wasn't doing is I wasn't getting daily exercise. And I wasn't also really thinking about what I ate, except other than the fact of what would I like to eat rather than what is the quality of the food that I'm eating. Today, as of this morning, I was 66 kilograms, so I've lost 10% of my body weight. And I know that's had a huge impact on my ability to be able to live with and maintain my type 2 diabetes level, to the point that I'm still non-medicated several years later. So I don't know when the last time it was that I weighed this weight, but I'm feeling great for it. A lot of the trousers that I used to have, and even the tops that I used to have only 3 years ago, are now big on me, and it's a good damn excuse to go and buy some new clothes. And certainly through COVID, why not? What the hell? I've improved through that journey. I've improved my diet considerably. Used to eat a lot of lamb chops, if you will, a lot of fatty lamb. Tastes great, but maybe isn't so good for you on a regular basis. Used to drink beer quite a lot. I'm now drinking non-alcoholic beer, only just to maintain and ensure that my alcohol content intake is kept to an absolute minimum. I'm still on that journey to try and find a nice non-alcoholic or low alcoholic red wine. So if you know of something, drop me a line. I'd love to know, because I haven't yet managed to find something that's really, really good. So low carbs, certainly a high quality diet, drinking a lot more water every day. I'm eating seafood 3-4 times a week, be it prawns and fish and so forth, whereas previously I would very rarely eat fish. It was probably only when I would go to a function and if it was served up as one of the alternative plates. My daily exercise is another area where I've really changed my lifestyle. Today, every morning, I get up, 6 o'clock, the alarm goes off, sometimes a bit earlier than that, depending on the time of year, and I go for a 5 or a 6 kilometre walk. I didn't start just suddenly jumping into a 5 kilometre walk. The idea of getting out of bed at 6 o'clock was a challenge initially, and then going for a walk in the middle of winter was another challenge. But now it's just life. It's just everyday life. I grab my dog, Billy, beautiful Labrador, and she and I go for a 5 o'clock walk around the lake, along the beach, and it is now how I start every single day. And now I know that before 8 o'clock hits the mark, I've already done a good 5-6 kilometre walk. I've been outside for an hour or so. I've breathed in some fresh air. I've watched the sun rise in the sky. I've smelt the ocean. It's a really nice, healthy lifestyle. I've also spent time with my Labrador. I do some training with her every day. She loves it. I love it. And I just know that regular exercise makes a huge difference, and has made a huge difference on my daily health. It's made me feel fitter, certainly, and it certainly has made me fitter indeed. Meditation. Now, this is an interesting one. I don't find myself sitting in a room meditating very often, but I do find that it's important to get your mind off the daily grind, think about things alternative to work and the daily stresses. So as you may have picked up on some of my earlier videos, my latest and my current and passion in life when it comes to doing something fun and meditative for me is wing foiling. So I'm standing on a paddleboard, underneath it is attached a hydrofoil, and I'm holding a wing in my hands, and I'm hooning along across the lake or the ocean, and sometimes up to speeds around 30 kilometers an hour when I'm up above the water on the hydrofoil. And it's the best thing since sliced bread as far as I'm concerned. More importantly, 1 hour on the water on the hydrofoil for me, wing foiling, is like being away for the weekend. I don't think of nothing else except the fun and the challenge of getting up on the foil and staying up on the foil and doing all the things that you do when you're wing foiling. So my point is, find yourself something you can get passionate about. It might be sitting in a darkened room and listening to some soft music, or it might be doing something a bit more active like wing foiling like I am. But find yourself something that you can find as a passion that allows you to get your mind off work and the daily stresses, because your mind is just as important as your body when it comes to managing the stresses of living with a chronic disease. Sleeping, I've also appreciated and learned to appreciate. After many, many years of working in the corporate life, I've learned that the balance of sleep and the importance of sleep is over or underestimated and quite overlooked very often. So for me, it's a case of making sure I get at least 8 hours of sleep, and I feel better for it as well. And mix that with exercise in the morning, eating healthier and low alcohol intake, the quality of life just all comes together beautifully. And finally, my mission is to be in remission. And I am still and will be for the rest of my life on a journey of maintaining and managing my type 2 diabetes. My next HbA1c blood test is in 1 month's time on the 1st of December. It is now the 4th of November, so I've got just under a month to wait. The last test that I had was 6.3, and my bet is that if I can stay below 6.5 for a year, my GP will technically agree that I'm no longer needing to be even on the list of requiring medication. Many will say that once you're diagnosed a diabetic, you will always be a diabetic. Okay, that's fine. The Diabetes Australia position statement on diabetes remission is that if you can remain under 6.5 for at least 3 months, from one test at the beginning of that 3 months and the second test, and also remain non-medicated, then you are technically in remission. So I'm on that mission for remission. I'm hoping that my next blood test will be at least 6.5 or less. Ideally, I'd love it to be 6.3 or less, but nevertheless, it's going to be below 6.5, I hope. So watch this space. I certainly am. I thank you for your audience. I thank you for putting up with me for the last 5-6 videos. As I said, I hope you find this motivational, inspirational, and reassuring. You're not on your own with this journey. If you need help, there are resources around, from psychological counseling to dietary advice to medical advice. Organisations such as Diabetes Australia throughout their Diabetes New South Wales, ACT, Queensland and so forth, that those organisations have a plethora of resources and education information that can help you along the way. Information that I still today frequently revisit just to make sure that I'm on track and it helps keep me at bay from getting into bad habits. So good luck. Good luck to you. Good luck and well done to you for at least listening and putting up with me. And keep on the journey. Keep thinking positively. And just remember, ultimately, whatever you do to look after your health is going to be of benefit to yourself and probably also for those around you. So all the best to you. Stay healthy and let's keep on that mission to remission. Take care. Cheers.